Hello, Flosstubers! Labas, привет, hola. It's been showing about a couple of weeks ago that I did last video, at least uploaded, but actually I recorded about a month ago. And as I mentioned last video, we were changing to Windows 10 and it took forever to figure out how to have it all together in new programs, editing software, all that stuff. Plus, I decided to try with my laptop record this time, not move my phone, because with my phone, we're gonna be changing the phones after I came back from Lithuania. I said last video before that I have to take out my SIM card, put in my husband's phone because my laptop totally doesn't recognize my phone at all. So if I want to upload anything, I have to do this switching, and then it's all kinds of other problems happening. So it's been a few years for this phone, and I guess I'm gonna have to say goodbye. Although my boys wanted to have the phone, the kind of inheritance, and use that. I'm like, it's not working well enough for me, so I would imagine it wouldn't work well for you. So I don't know, we'll see how this video quality goes, and hopefully it won't last that long. So one of my son's birthdays coming up actually tomorrow. Yeah, so he still doesn't know what he wants, so we might just take him shopping. Oy, I'm about to sneeze. Um, so my mother-in-law is coming up today. She has about 6 hour drive to come, and she's gonna stay with us for a little bit. And my husband just left for another week TDY with work, so I'm holding front here by myself with the kids and entertaining my mother-in-law. Luckily, she likes cross stitching too, so I guess it's not gonna be that boring. Maybe I'll find some local needlework shop around. Although I was asking in St. Louis area if there's any stitchers that know the shops open, because when you look online, it's like all those shops are listed, and then you try to call and nobody's answering or saying the phone has been disconnected. So all the shops slowly closing down, and it's super sad. It's easier to buy stuff online, but it's not the same as you seeing in hand. I know some of you other Flosstubers said that you go in the store at the needlework shop and you see something, they're displayed, and it's like, wow, you wouldn't think that it looks so good compared to what when you look at the chart, at the picture of finished product. When you see live, it's totally different. So it's kind of sad it's closing. So I might have to drive a bit way out to check some of them out, and I'll drag her with me because kids are back to school, yay! It's second week for my two youngest ones, and yeah, it's still weird. We're adjusting, and there's always pros and cons, when the kids go to school, unless they drive by themselves, so you can just sleep in if you want to. Otherwise, you have to get up, you make sure they all eat, and I have to do my daughter's hair. Her hair is down to her knees, and she doesn't want to cut it unless it's tiny, tiny smidget just off the bottom. Luckily, so far, her hair is not splitting up at the ends, but and she wants to have it just one braid this time. She goes through those periods where she wanted all loose, and you can do whatever you want, and she would come home, with unbraided hair and so loose and flying everywhere. Or there was two braid time, and now it's been for a while like Elsa, one big braid. So yeah, so you get the kids out and it's like, whew, I can finally have my own breakfast and coffee. Oh, by the way, this is Lithuanian scene. Gediminas Tower in capital Vilnius, and those trees are all taken out right now. So the white bridge, yeah, kind of neat. Yeah. So okay. Let's. I'll show you since it's been a month. Keep in mind that. The way I did my whips, I don't go just, from Monday through Sunday is gonna be one, and then I have to switch. I usually did whatever it felt like, but majority it was about 4, 5 days each whip, and then I switched. Right now, I'm working on four of them. All of them were from Stitch Mania that I started this year. So I'm trying to work on them and finish up. Um, so yeah, let me show you. By the way, notice I am sitting in my dining room. It's all those ladies are behind me. So one of them is, hold it up, my kitty and the flower pot. And I think I did pretty good progress. Last time, I don't know if I'll be able to insert a picture of this new programs. Last time I had done the pot and the stem without a back stitching. So this is how much I've done. I finished the flower. I did all the back stitching done, and pot is there, and I'm working on kitty here. There's a little patch of shading and there's a cat, but yeah, it's stitching. I think it's quite nicely. Once I started going back stitching, it's like, wow, I actually can recognize the leaves, and all those flowers really, really started to pop out. So work on that. Oh, I hope it wasn't too loud for you. All those bags. Put it there. Let's see. Another one. Reach it. Oh, that is that. Oh, heavy, heavy. Sorry for the noise. Oh, forgot to take it out of the. I had my wedding couple done, working only with one thread, and my hand dyed fabric. I think I might, at the end, I might do a little bit more like a coffee dyeing all the projects. So I think that's gonna make it a little bit more aged looking. So it's like antique stuff. Let me put the needle in. So ending look. Can you do this? Okay. So this is what's gonna end up looking sort of like. And last time I had them down to like their waistline. So it's not hard to do, but all this counting, how many in here, how many in there, it's all like getting blurry. But I think it's looking pretty good, shading. One color, that's not hard. Just all that counting. A few times I kind of missed one stitch at the end, so I'm like, try to count, doesn't match. So it's like, oops, I didn't add, so I just went up a little bit and did a little bit extra, so I didn't have to forget, yay, And so I don't remember which count fabric I'm using. It might be, I think it's linen. Yep, so that's another one. And then I'm doing heat challenge number 3, and I think I might start my rotation again today, but I have for the challenge only one row left right here. So I've done 11/12 of the block. And I know somebody is doing this not for a challenge, but just regular like mini. And I don't think you can see the sparkles. I have craning here, and they don't have it. In the mini, apparently, there's no metallic threads, so it's just the white. And for me, there's craning here, craning there, but I think it's turning out good, and I'm doing this on 18 count. Oops, there's my pattern. And it's my first time doing packing. And you know what? I think I like it more. After I was forced to do the parking. It's a little bit annoying when, like, you know, you have somewhere like underneath like couple extra stitches of that color left, but you can't go down because you're supposed to go by the row. So it's a little bit annoying that way, but I'll show you a comparison what I'm doing next. By the way, ending picture is supposed to look like this. The whole thing, so I'm just right now up to here. Main thing. So a while back, I've started Josephine Wall's Ships and Shell QS, quick stitch apparently, and since I've never done parking, I was doing just like a by page cross country stitching. So let's see, this is what's gonna look like. And well, let me take this off so you can see better. So I'm doing page, all right, see, I don't know, you know, it's hard to do. I think I don't like this way doing, but I'm stuck because, you know, you have to count. It's like, is that exactly, you know, luckily I had it gridded. So I can, it's like, okay, so it's 140 by 60. You find that and you count, make sure you get in the correct spot, and yeah, I still miss like one of that color somewhere and somewhere else. And even though it seems like I'm really carefully going through the pattern, it's not working that well. I think I like the parking more. I know some people said, you know, parking is not for me, but it's annoying when you think you finished the whole color on the page and then you find a couple stranded ones later on, and you have to again pull out that thread and thread it through the needle and go again and again. So I might continue doing parking after I finally finished filling in all those pieces. It's nice, you know, later on when you start kind of slowly seeing the picture come out, because you don't see the whole view with the cross-country stitching, but you see more of the picture coming out faster, I think, in the parking technique, you know. So it's not like blur and starts slowly going in until you finish practically the last stitch, and then you can see the whole picture at the cross-country. Okay, I have some of my notes here, make sure I didn't miss it. So yeah, so that's all I've done in the past month. That's all I've done. Did you guys watch the Olympics a lot? I've tried, and it's like, you can't catch everything, you know, because life has to go on, but in evening seems like we always stumble, when my husband is back from work, we stumble upon beach volleyball, and majority of us, it was of course the women. And I'm not a feminist, but it's like, why do those women have to wear super tiny size bikinis where only half of your butt practically looks like covered, and just tiny thingy here. And men can wear their shorts. Why can't women wear, shorts or something like that? They fall on the sand as much as men, and they have less body to protect. I mean, less, how to say it, less body covered, so you get more sand, not the bruises, but burns, I guess. I mean, they have to have a good figures because they're constantly exercising. But still, it's like, why can't men then wear tighties, like swimmers do? Why not? you know, I don't know. Is that the rule, or is just like they said, you're a woman, you have to wear this tiny, tiny thingy. Um, and I missed the closing ceremony. It's like, dang, the opening was quite interesting, although it was like controversial. They were showing all about this environmentally, we have to protect, and all the ice is melting everywhere, blah blah blah, and they built putting those seeds in to grow the plants and trees. But then they polluting their own water with the waste, and I've heard that some of the swimmers refuse to go to this Olympics because of the water pollution or something like that, Media can say all kinds of things. So it's like, so why can't you clean up your own front yard, backyards, instead of saying globally, you have to do, everybody else have to do that? Yeah. Ugh. Usually it is, how they say you can't you can see the tiniest splinter in somebody else's eye, but in your own you don't see elephant. I don't know how it's how it's in English. Um, okay, so yeah, so with the school, it's funny thing we got a new bus driver, lady, and pretty much 4 days of last week, she would be late bringing kids back. I mean, my kids are saying later, she passed by some stop and didn't realize that some kids had to get off in there, so she has to somehow turn around and go back and drop them off. And so my neighbors starting to, even in the mornings, started to drive her kids to school. It's like, I can't wait, because this driver sometimes shows up way later, 2 in the mornings. I don't know. She seemed very nice lady, but yeah, you need to get on the schedule. Okay, so in the past month, I've done a little bit shopping, and I try not to be encouraged to buy certain patterns by you, but I see something, it's like, I might get it because later it might not be there. And I'm planning to do quite a few new projects next year. I already have all the list of sales that's gonna be happening. So Brooks Books had sale on Etsy, and it took 3 weeks probably for me to receive these patterns. She had you buy like a bunch of them for a certain amount of money. So I don't know how I'm gonna do the finish. I haven't figured out. So Joe Marsh from Little Woman. They're quite simple projects. They're all in the list. Meg and Beth. They're quite simplistic ones. I might do on a small account just because the way it looks. Maybe it's gonna be looking pretty. You know. Um, And mainly that I bought the whole group of them is I like Pride and Prejudice, so it's Darcy's. And it was Alice with little ribbon flower. Oops, right here. And this was Emma Rose. Um, and this is kind of cute, Snow Queen's tiara. And I might do that for my husband from a kid. It says, Dad always said, follow your heart, but take your brain with you. Yeah, our boys are, yeah, they don't think before they do, as a lot of kids do. And that's also, that would be from daughter, son, dad, a son's first hero, a daughter's first love. That's kind of cute. Yeah, so I was wondering when I'm gonna get all that stuff, and finally arrived. Let's see. I had a gingerbread needlework shop pattern that I bought a little back from a 1-2-3 stitch, and it's just a little box with the lid that you can take off. And I decided to get this accessory pack without, fabric and stuff. Oh my gosh, look at this. This is a list, but I didn't care for threads and things because I have some threads, just mainly for buttons. And that thing is expensive, like $60 for that little thingy, And pattern is not cheap, and the fabric too, so it's like, whoa, Yeah, you couldn't choose to take some things out, so. But at least I have that. And I love that there's Stitchmania and Flosstubes because I got some needles and I ordered petites. I like petites because it helps, especially when you have specialty thread. It helps to save some thread, They're quite sharp, and I got it from Sassy to Stitch. I think it was from eBay. I hope it will show up straight for you. So it's got it over 100. Yeah, a couple different sizes. So, and I got Cross Stitch Halloween collection on a disc. So it's 4-year worth of stuff. So I like the paper versions, because you can kind of flip, and just the sound of the flipping pages, it's kind of nice. But that was a better deal, and one of the main ones I got, I love Dracula. I think I've seen every possible version of Dracula there is to see, from the very early one, Nosferatu, which you can kind of laugh at when you look at how it was done, and special effects and stuff. But it was fun, to look through them, and I think I'm gonna do a lot from just these ones because I love Halloween and I love Christmas. And from some secondhand store, I found this Holidays in Cross Stitch 1990. Big, heavy book. I think it was Goodwill. I think I paid like $1.50, but some of the patterns, there's like old fashion, and back in those days that very, very simply looking, or like really outdated style. But I might do something like, and so you never know. I used to subscribe to a couple magazines years back, and then it's like, those are such tiny patterns. I never liked stitching tiny patterns. Like, oh well, I'm just gonna get rid of it. So I donated all of it to our local pantry with the clothes and all other stuff. And now I'm thinking, my taste changing. It's kind of cute to, you get tired of stitching those big items, like heaven and earth designs, because it might take forever. So it's kind of cute, to take somewhere, or if you want to give it to somebody as a gift, and you wouldn't be so super mad and upset if they didn't really appreciate it and hung in their house. If it was smaller versus you spent like weeks total working on it and it was just put somewhere in the closet, you know. That's why I tried not to give my stitch projects to anybody that, except few people that I knew that they would appreciate it. You know, the parents, of course, you know, they'll love anything you do, even if it's when you were a kid, you know, and for scribbles, you know, they would save it. And after some email exchange about my credit card not going through, which has never happened before, I guess their problem was in their end. I got a few Debbie Patrick designs, Victorian homes. So I like Victorian houses. We almost bought one of them not too far from here. It just, we needed one extra bedroom, and that bedroom, I guess it used to be like nanny's room that practically you put in twin bed with the super tiny nightstand, and that would be it. And it's like, I don't want to stick my kid in that kind of room. So sadly, you know, I didn't want to add extra building to it. And since I live in Illinois, I thought that would be very nice to do something that is from Illinois. So yeah, in big style, I'm just gonna have to do the copy, working copy for it, so it doesn't accidentally messes up. Of course, I'm not gonna show you, I got a couple of times the regular DMC thread from Joann's when they were having that, you know, coupon sale for $1 and things like that. So I got a lot of that thread, you know. But also went and got this for my beads. Since I have a lot of beads, I had it in a different storage, but it's harder to open the other storage. I mean, you know, beads not gonna fall out, but I thought I'd try out this one. They're not very big, and they look even tinier than they are, but if you have to go somewhere and you need to take beads, you can take as many in the tower as you want, because it unscrews, and then, you know, it's just a tab you have to put the lid on, and others are just connected like that, but it works, you know. It's okay. So this is the whole package, one package of beads, and you still see how much more room there is still left in there. So I might have to get more of these, and these are 40mm stackable jars. Yep. So that's got from Joann's. Besides a bunch of thread, and I got some magazines. What I don't like, I think they do it on purpose. I don't like when the magazines are stuffed in a plastic, you know, bag that you can't look at, and sometimes the fronts are covered up with all kinds of things, so you don't know what you're buying pretty much, except like one or two little designs up front. So got the wardrobe cross stitch and cross stitching, and I think the most like is this duck, and I still kind of hiding this behind some things that were in. So I never done this corner. I might try it and figure out their, you know, finishing techniques in there, and it's a simple design. And there are a lot of those very simple projects here, you know, that if you're a beginner, it might be good for you. But other than that, it's like, that's all I needed. And then I got from I think it was Hirschner's online. I bought some, it was on sale or clearance. Cross-stitch Christmas book. And they have, pretty nice designs. You can see in the back, it's pretty heavy book. A lot of things and, little hanging things and few simple projects, but there's sock that it was on the same style, same design, and totally different book, just for socks and yeah. So simplistic kind of thing. That and I ordered also a couple older. I never had cross stitch and needlework magazine, so I thought, I want to try something besides cross stitching. I've done pull thread, I've done hardanger, I've done, there's another style, Bargello. So I was like, that might be interesting to try out. So, and I kind of start like, I know it's very simple, but something for each month. I might do the different finishing as FFO, and there's August and September. So I might have to, I'm gonna look if there is all others, since there's 2 per each, I need just 4 or 6 more magazines. Anyway, it's like I have to get the whole year's supply now, and it's from 2014. If they still have those magazines, I might have to get them and do this by month so I can hang it. And something to kind of, switch each month. And for this, I pretty much paid arm and leg. World of Cross Stitching, which probably a lot of you have seen it. They include some thread and a little chart book. But the main thing that I found love from that magazine is this one. Journey of 1,000 miles, begin with a single step. And actually I had, idea about it. Alright, so this is what it looks as a bigger. Would any of you be interested doing this as a together project? Which means we all would have this chart and the fabric, and depends on how many of us want to do, we would do just a portion of it, stitch it, and then send it to the next person who's supposed to do that. So we would do the circle, because journey of 1,000 miles begins with single step. So my step would be first, and somebody else would be like a next step. For example, it could be like this part is 1, and like this 2, 3, and then 4, and then stuff like that. So we could break it down in parts and send it, so it would travel those thousands of miles around the world. So I think it would be kind of cool idea. So if any of you would be interested in doing that, let me know. I'll post also on the Stitch Mania, because I think some of you or a lot of you are on Stitch Mania, and we can then figure out, it could be different count fabrics, as long as you would have to pay the postage to send it, but at the end, I think the end would be worth it, so yeah. Let's see what else. Heaven and Earth Designs are doing their sale for a few more days, of the charts. So, I need to shorten my wish list. I have quite a few on my list. And they keep putting new ones, and I have a couple in my mind that I want to try to do giant size. There is, I think, Starry Night that you can select the size. So I have that way. Well, the hallway is entryways. There's 2-story. So, and I have a living room that's 2-story with a giant wall space. So I want to put something up there that if you have a lot of details, you wouldn't be able to see. So you need something more simple. I might try to do that maybe on a 7-count fabric. I know it's gonna be huge. No frame will fit, so I have to use Q-snaps for that. Probably big ones, you know. Okay, so I got this sulky thread to try. Um, you know, Joann's have it. They're on sale, but they never show the price. They have a regular thread, you know, with a price sticker. I could never find out. Even I keep forgetting to look at my receipt from a store. It doesn't have, I thought about using that for gridding, but it's also kind of cute and shiny to do just instead of cranic maybe to use a sulky thread. I think you can stitch on that. All right, I know a lot of people on the Flosstube started to tell about what they're reading and what they're watching, and since I love books and I read majority, you know, very easy reading that because I'm super fast reader, I just browse through them, right? You know, swim through them, and then next, the next. And my problem is, if it's interesting book, once I start reading, I don't want to sleep, I don't want to eat, I don't want to do anything until I finish it. So it's my guilt, you know, comes in, but not always wins. That I have to do something else. And so I finished this book. If you know Anita Blake series by Laurel Hamilton, she's from St. Louis, and the majority of the events, the main characters are in St. Louis, so it's kind of neat. You know, I always try to read books that about the local places, and I've met few authors that had like detective series books, and we talked about those places. So I think her newest in Anita Blake series gonna come out in October, and she's been writing it for over 20 years, way before vampires and werewolves were popular, way before Twilight. So if you're weak-hearted, some of the books and stories are very detailed about the gruesome things. Well, Anita Blake, the main character, is like a necromancer, so they can raise up the dead who answer the questions because they can't lie. So she raised them up, or she gets paid for it, and put them back down. And but she also helps a local supernatural crime team, police, work with the cases. If it's something non-human related, they call her in, and she has to look through all of those, you know, gory stuff and try to figure out what kind of creature did it, and then if need be, go find them with the police. So it's what I like about Hamilton. She really does a lot of research. You know, she knows about the different types of guns. She talks a lot with the different crime units and policemen, and so she really doesn't like to have any mistakes made in her stories. So she does a lot of research for her books, which I like, you know, because it's really detailed. And of course, there's, you know, R-rated scenes. The further in the stories, the more there are. And I think I have 26th, 27th, seventh book maybe is gonna come out in this series only. So if you never read her and you like supernatural, Anita Blake, first book I think it's called Guilty Pleasures. So I read that I think in 2 days with the big breaks. And since I like Pride and Prejudice, I've read the book, but I've never seen this movie, and I rented it from my local store. Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies. So I'm curious to see how well they did it compared to book, because I know some books when they make it into movies, they just botch it up. It's like I wish I hadn't seen the movie because it's so off the book, or they cut out the most interesting parts, and stuff like that. So yeah, let's see. Oh, so if you're in Stitch Mania, you might have seen me posting, if it's your birthday, then everybody's, wishing you happy birthday. So I came up with the word Happy Bird Stitch Day. So if you see that, it's me, because it's different than my channel name. My name is Jurgita. I don't know if I said it before. Yeah, the way it's written, a lot of Americans want to say Georgita, but no, it's like with the Y, Jurgita. And if you can roll R's, it's great. So I accidentally stumbled upon county fair, and I didn't know you can take in your cross-stitch items there, to be like a judge. So I managed to get in just in time to move 2 of my FFOs that I've done. You're supposed to have it done within the last 2 years. So I FFO'd about a year and a half ago, I think, earliest one. So I had 2 of them done. One was Mirabilis Royal Holiday Lady, and another one was, I think, Glendon Place Rider, the Headless Horseman, the words. And so I got first and second places in that category. So it's kind of cool, when my kids were very happy and proud, So I think once they find out that you can bring all kinds of other, kids aged items, it doesn't have to be cross stitch, I've seen there's a category besides your collectibles. You can bring even a cookie cutter collection, up to 6, I think, or something, So it's okay, So I think they're gonna be doing, at least few of my kids gonna be doing something for next year. Although Illinois really not supporting county fairs, they cut off all the funding for 2015 already, and this is 2016. So some of the state counties stopped doing that because it takes a lot of money to put up the fair. So unless the fair committee manages to get some doing fundraiser throughout the year, then they can't do the fairs, which is kind of sad, because I think, especially in around bigger towns, that's the only place that kids can see real animals, up close and personal. And my kids have seen those animals because in Lithuania we would go in the farm towns and where some of my relatives live, so they can touch chickens and little calves, feed them, but yeah, it's kind of sad, but it all comes down to money. And let's see, for my non-stitching thing, I did my first sewing project. It's a bag, you can have it inside out, but what I like it's a drawstring, so it can be like a purse, but you have those pockets here that you can stash something in here too. I don't know if it will hold the phone in a pocket, but I mean it sort of can hold it. I thought it's kind of cute idea. It's two different color fabric, and yeah. So it's my first different project that I've done in a long time. Yep, that's that. And I think I had something else. I haven't FFO'd anything. I'm still slowly getting up. Actually, I'm supposed to get big package from 123 Stitch of stuff, and it's hard not to spend all the money at once everywhere. It's like in 1 month I don't want to get $1,000 bill, so I really have to figure out what I want to buy when. So if I really like something that some of you are stitching, I have my little notebook where I write it down, design. It's like, oh, I'll look later, So I have a check mark that I would like to see this. And what I'm gonna be working this week also, just got this catalog, stuff for sale is few days, Stampin' Up! Holiday, and I got my order to make those little houses, the cutout dialogues. Isn't it cute? You can do Easter. There is a Halloween, you can decorate as a Halloween, and I might put some candy or some other, sweet stuff in there. So I love it, So I'm gonna be working, trying to make something like this, and yeah, I'm excited. I look through this, it's like, oh my gosh, I want to get that, and something for kids to color. And a while back, I think I've seen an idea that somebody, stamped on Shrinkadinks thing, colored in, and used the regular stamp from here and shrunk it and made it as a keychain, So it's like, wow, I want to do that, Some little gift ideas for my friends, maybe, or hang it little like mini ornaments on a tree, So yeah. So if you like this, I'll put it linked below where you can check it out. I mean, there's like tons of different ideas online to use those products. It's not just what it shows. So that's what I like it about. So yeah, I've seen also, I think I'm gonna try to not to buy too many patterns, but Passion Recamo has some beautiful patterns, besides fairies. And if you buy digital chart, it could be just like 10 euros, versus like full blown. They have some free pattern sample patterns, and they had mystery style. But I also like those. I want to support the designers, so I'd like to get at least couple of the paid charts from her. She's kind of nice. And then I have some stuff from Stony Creek, and I think I'm gonna try at least one. What's her name? Joan Elliott designs. I think since so many of you praise her designs, I might try to stitch something of her. I don't think I've ever done. I've done a lot of Nora Corbett ones. As you can see, some of them are there. So yeah, let's see. And thank you for all my subscribers, new and old, and for such wonderful things you guys say, And it's great that we support each other. Because it takes a lot of time to not only stitch project, but actually come up. For me, the hardest is decide what fabric I want to stitch on. the count and the color of the fabric. Yeah, so if you tuned in first time, welcome to Flosstube. You'll never leave. You're stuck. Yeah. So, happy Monday and welcome to September coming up. And I might do next one in maybe a couple of weeks then. I'll try not to wait the whole month because then I forget what I've done and what I bought. I try to keep all my purchases, my pretties, precious pretties, not the stash. I don't like the stash word. It's like I feel like I'm hoarding, but not. And if you have many whips, good for you. Don't be nervous that you have so many. You're gonna finish sometime. If not, then at least you will enjoy doing it. So, it's not like your job. Well, for some of you, it might be if you're model stitchers. But still, I'm sure you wouldn't be doing it if you don't like doing what you're doing. And I think with each stitch, with each video, with each question, we'll learn more and more about how to do it better, how to use something better, broaden our choices of fabrics and flosses and ideas that make friends, So, all right, thank you for watching and liking it and subscribing it. I think I had at least one thumbs down, so that does not discourage me, because I know there was a wave of somebody hating everybody on Flosstube, that everybody's like getting thumbs down and negative. So, you know, he or she is not doing anything bad for us. It's just they're putting their own negativity on themselves, I think. So, yeah. All right. So till the next time, keep on stitching and send some music to this program. We'll see how it turns out. Till next time, bye.